Red leather, oh. I didn't actually mean to switch back quite this moment, but sure. Welcome back, everybody. The automatic switching screwed me again. So long as you're all here, let me just bring up our old friend Claude.
Initialized.
Oh, welcome back to the TTS as well. Let's get into Claude here. Let me make sure that Claude doesn't dox me. Okay, he won't. Excellent. Let me get to the project page. There we go. Okay, and let me just... is this going to do anything horrible when I switch to this? No, excellent. Okay. Let me just switch to... Aha. Just set it up correctly here. Hold on. Not quite prepared for stream, I apologize, but there we go. Okay, so, is the auto? Nope, the auto is not. Okay, that's fine, I will set it up later. When we last left off, the game was not in a very good state, but, as you can see now, I have worked through a lot of the issues, and now you can really see the original vision I had. You can see, if you look as oh man, that's bad frame rate. Hold on, let me... Oh boy, let's get to a less compute-intensive part of the map. Yeah, with, it ran okay when I wasn't streaming it. But as soon as you turn on the streaming software, suddenly... What was that? Suddenly the, oh man, I'm pressing buttons there. Suddenly, it, doesn't run as well. So, nonetheless, you can see we have worked out all of the... I mean, we have not worked out all the bugs in the visibility system, but we've worked out all the big showstoppers that made it just look like insane trash. You can see as we walk down this corridor, this comes into our line of sight. Anything that we don't have line of sight to is rendered in black. We can't see it. And as we look at this overlapping space here, the dividing line, you know, we see partially into one room and partially into another, despite them, from our perspective, occupying the same space. And if we go back... We can go to the self-intersecting room. Self-intersecting, the, what would this be called? Hey, why is there a... Oh, because I pressed F2. We go into the self-linked room. We can see the vision cone looks basically correct. We can see the corridor we came in from. If the screen was a little larger, you could actually see that we can even see ourselves. Even if we're not in the room, if we're just in the corridor, we can see it. And if we head up, cruise on over to this room, we got the infinite corridor here. We can see the walls casting shadows. You can see, if I can... Yeah, you can see that the shadow, mostly correctly, projects into the next room and then the room after next. But if you look closely, you can see it's not quite right, is it? There'll be a better place I can go to show that, I think. There's more of the seamless self-overlapping. I'm really proud of that. Okay, there we go. So you see, I see it, we have this room here. This is like the circular corridor, the cycle corridor. You can see, I see a tiny sliver of this room, but then I see a huge patch of this room. You can see there's a bend in the shadow here. Well, that makes no sense. That's not how that works. Well, what's happening there is we are correctly moving. In fact, if I hit F4, I believe, no, F4 is, there we go. If we open up the debug view here, we can see we are correctly marking parts of this of this room as being invisible, or parts of this connecting edge, rather, as being invisible. The problem is that we are correctly moving the ray to the to the bottom of the visible part of the connecting edge, but we aren't changing the angle. And when I was writing this, I thought that changing the angle would be unnecessary, but it is necessary because of this. So I'm not 100% certain what to do about that. Because excuse me, I got phlegm in my throat. Great thing to have right before you do a Twitch stream. So what we want to do here at this intersection here is to find the angle of the player to this vertex here, and then project based on that. But this room cannot know where the player is, I don't think. Unless we took the player's position and projected it forward, I guess we could. I don't really want to. But I'm not sure I see another way. What were the other bugs I was looking into? The other thing is just performance. I'm not 100% certain. I think... yeah, now that I've talked about it with myself on stream here, I think I'm going to address the performance issues first. Because that, I mean, for one thing, that's might be a little bit more interesting to watch. Oh, the other thing, which we will knock this out concurrently with dealing with the performance issues, is this. Okay, there's also issues with the jiggly, you know, we get warped back and forth between the rooms. Also that issue, but the issue I was trying to point out is that our entity gets cut off here. And that is because in debugging the rendering, the perspective rendering, we have accidentally wiped out the code that does the proper layering. So rooms draw on top of each other, and our player gets cut off by this room's floor. So we need to fix that. We need to bring back proper layering. But nonetheless, you can see this this works really well. I can go into this room and I can see everything that I should be able to see. Is there anything else that I want to show off? Just this is my favorite part. This here. I don't know if that's as cool to anyone else as it is to me, but it's pretty freaking cool to me. So you can see we're here, and then we take 4 left turns, and now we're here in a completely different place. Amazing. It's crazy. I've also been doing a little bit of thinking about, like, what kind of mechanics does this enable us to add to the game? You know, we want to... I spent all this time and energy implementing this customized rendering system. Like, we better come up with some way to enable the game to have features that no other game can have because of it. So one thing I was thinking was we could have an item that's the portable hole. That was a thing from old cartoons, like, oh, what's his name? Bugs Bunny cartoons, stuff like that. So you would say, walk up to this wall, you know, and you would use your portable hole item, and then you would walk up to someplace completely different, use your portable hole item again, and then a room would appear, you know, this long corridor, and at the end of that corridor would be the original room that you put the other side of the portable hole on. And because of the way we've written this engine, that can just be handled like just it works just the same as everything else does. You know, that's all these rooms are linked, you know, linked polygons. We just create a big rectangle, link it to here. Well, first we would have to add 2 vertices to this line, which is fine. That's that should just work fine. And then you create your rectangular room, create 2 more vertices on your target, and then create a rectangular room link between them. The other thing would be you could have a portable, like you could have something, you could have like a storage room that you could just create portals to wherever you want. We gotta think about it. I'm sure there's all kinds of crazy shit we can do enabled by this technology here. But first, we will have to work out all the little bugs. And then we can get to work on actual gameplay, which will be the most fun thing to actually watch, huh? But let's see. So what we need to do, I mean, the other big thing I need to do is go through all the code I have and kind of de-AI it. Because most of this code is AI written by now. I mean, yeah, it's all AI written. Very little of it is handwritten. So that makes it difficult to work on it going forward. So I'm going to, at some point, off stream, maybe on stream, it depends, I will have to kind of start over and use the AI generated game as a template and really like write it really correctly in a way that I can actually understand it going forward. And then we can, you know, we'll continue adding features and then continue adding AI generated crap code and then replace that code with real code again and again until we have something we can maybe, you know, maybe release, maybe even charge money for. If it's really good. Probably not. But anyway, so let's get to work on... we actually, okay, I'd better set up the auto switch because I need you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. So let's go to OBS, go to Tools, Automatic Scene Switcher. Yes, and then tell this to switch to... Tell it to look for Claude Brave. Will this work? Okay, we switch. Aha! Okay. So I do this, all right. Now when I'm messing around with Claude, you can actually see what I'm doing. So I was actually having a little conversation with Claude earlier. We were talking about how we would A, speed up the game, because it's running unacceptably slow now, and B, fix the layering. So he showed me this, which he didn't go out of his way to make it easy for me to splice in, but okay. But basically the idea is like the way we have it now, when we want the world to draw, we just go to the world's root room and draw it, pass in the screen surface, which you don't actually have to pass in. The cameras transform, and why aren't we passing in the play? Oh. Yeah, so we're actually, that's interesting. Okay. We pass in the player's position because I think we were trying to simplify... What were we trying to do? Why did I do that? I know there was a reason. I remember there being a reason. I don't remember the reason why we're passing in the player's position instead of... Oh, right. Oh! Camera player's position. Where do we use this? See, this is why... This is the problem with AI written code, is that you don't understand your own code. What is Vantage? Well, I know what Vantage is. This is for picking the length of the rays. Length of the what? Picking the length of the rays. But what? I also don't like this being passed in. We can just... We'll fix it. We'll fix it at some point. Yeah, so... It's really obnoxious how... Why is it not switching? Okay, let's fix the auto switch. Hold on. We go to... Oh my god, please, just work. Automatic scene switcher. And we'll also select this. It is really obnoxious how I have to do that. Why? Oh, it switched to... It wants... OBS wants to stream Dwarf Fortress now. Yeah, you remember when I streamed that? No one here does. Because that was years and years... not years and years ago. It was several months ago. Have it stream the browser. Stream the browser. Stream the browser. It's going back to Dwarf Fortress. What? Why? I should stream Dwarf Fortress again. The problem is I'm not really amazing at it. I'm good enough that I can... Basically, I'm good enough at Dwarf Fortress that I can be boring. But I'm not good enough that I can be interesting, you know? Because if you watch someone who's just terrible at the game, then it's fun to watch them die horribly. And if someone's amazing at the game... switch to browser. If someone's amazing at the game, then they can do crazy oh my god, why? They can do crazy mega projects like that that other guy, that first guy, whoever my first subscriber in fact was a Dwarf Fortress streamer. Why is it behaving like this? Switch to the browser. Are you going to switch to the browser? No, you're going to switch to Dwarf Fortress. What? Oh, I know. Okay, I understand. That is bad UX. Holy shit. Who's responsible for this? Okay, we need to switch browser. There we go. Are you going to behave now? Yes, excellent. Okay, so now you, the viewer, can actually see what the fuck I'm doing. Let's see. So he gave me this code. I don't know how much I like this. Not because there's anything in particular wrong with it, but just because... he gave it to me in a format that's very difficult to merge into my code. That's fine. I will just ask him to... we should go over what we're trying to do here. So I talked to Claude and I said, hey, we're getting pretty low FPS. Let's look through the code for any easy wins that should result in large speedups. So he did his little analysis. He wrote me this little document here. He made it all pretty for me. So he was talking about surface creation. So Claude is saying, and I should probably check him on this. In our existing code, we create Pygame surfaces all the time. Because we create them, we create one to draw the room on, we create another to draw the mask, we create another to draw the entities, or do we? And then we blit them all together, and then we blit them to the screen. He's saying, okay, every time you create that surface, like that is an expensive call to create that in the first place, so you should really create one and just reuse it over and over again, clear it and reuse it. You know? And according to him, just fixing that is going to double our worst case FPS. I don't know if that's true. That's what Claude is saying. So, let's see. What other thing was he saying? These masks are created, filled, and blended for each room. The masking operation involves full screen alpha blending, which is computationally expensive. Combine the room polygon and frustum masks into a single mask operation. Pre-calculate the intersection of these masks before drawing room content. That doesn't make a ton of sense to me because wouldn't... Like, we would have to blit them all the same, wouldn't we? Maybe not. Oh, I think what he's saying... Oh, right, okay. So, the way we're doing it now is that we get the shape of the room, we get the shape of the view frustum, and then we draw the room to the mask, and then we draw the frustum to the mask, we draw the room, and then we apply the mask. Whereas, oops, no. He would like us to calculate the intersection of the room and the frustum, and then draw that mask once and apply it. Although if that's the case, no, we would have to, because of the floor texture, we would still have to do a masking operation. Unless... No, yeah, if we were... I mean, presumably eventually we would move, you know, if we took this to like a commercial game, we would move all the rendering onto the GPU, which would, we wouldn't have to use masks then. We could just use the, oh my god. The GPU's native texture handling, I forget what it's called. Although I guess GPUs don't have native texture stuff, they have shaders now. It's all shaders. I mean, it's been that way since like 2007. I don't know why I'm acting like that's a new thing. The floor texture is inefficient. We are creating and scaling the textures at initialization, but we're blitting the full texture for every room, even though most of it will be masked out. He wants to compute the pattern mathematically rather than... I don't know. I don't understand how he imagines that happening. He's having an AI moment. And then he's also saying, oh, let's cache these transforms. That's fine. Those aren't... I mean, those aren't costless, but I don't think they're that crazy expensive. That's something that should be optimized out, but I don't think that's the top priority. And he's talking about the draw cache. I don't think he understands how the draw cache works. I don't think he understands how the draw cache works, because the view frustum will never... Like, if the cache key as it stands is different, the view frustum will be different. It doesn't add anything to check by the view frustum or the entry edge. Like, it doesn't matter. And then, yeah, so nonetheless, he said, yeah, the surface pooling... I mean, it's not pooling. I talked to him about it. We're going to, what am I thinking? Yeah, so at the same time, we need to have layers where we draw the floor to one texture, and then we draw all the entities on top of onto another texture, and then blit the entities on top of the floors, and then blit that to the screen, instead of the way we're doing it, where we blit each room on top of each other. And the reason we got to do that is because otherwise entities will get cut off at room boundaries because they're being drawn over by the floor of the neighboring room. So I don't understand how he intends to implement... Okay. Nonetheless, so we talked about he wanted to have a pool of surfaces, and I'm like, wait, let's just have layers, and we'll just reuse the layers. And he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So he gave me this code. I'm just going to fork this conversation and say, all right, give me each section in their own artifact. How do I want him to give me the... Because the other thing that we gotta fix is that the draw function, the draw method, rather. I always use the terms method and function interchangeably, which it's a bad habit, but in Python they kinda are interchangeable. I mean, not really, because, yeah. But, I mean, technically a method is a bound function, or is it... Are they called bound methods or bound functions? I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm stupid. I give up. Terminology. None of it matters. Just semantics. Yeah, so I want him to give me the relevant sections of... okay. The strategy that's worked for me in getting partial updates to the draw method is to give him an anchor. So where does this code need to go? That's the thing. Draw room content, draw walls, draw debug info, create masking geometry. Just pass the... Okay, so... Yes, okay, so it's only one section that needs to change. So let's look for floor center equals local to screen. In fact, actually, you know what? I probably could get away... Okay, let's just try pasting this over. This might actually just work, and I don't have to complain. So we'll go to... Okay, what did I just do? Let's grab the whole thing.
Good job. It looks very clean now.
Welcome back, Missed One. Thank you. It's, yeah, it looks like an actual game now instead of just weirdness. But, let's see. Copy this over. Let's just see if this works. Honestly, the hardest part I have found of working with AI to write complicated code is just the merging of the code. Honestly, I could just do this by hand. Hold on. He just needs to pass in these 3 layers instead of the screen. That's fine. So yeah, we'll just paste this over. I don't want him to clobber all these comments, of course. They don't make it easy. Hold on. We're doing surgery on our code. They did surgery on code? They did surgery on code. There we go. Don't delete these comments. Oh my god, why? Okay, hold on. Why is it being silly? All right, we got, okay, go to do not ignore. And then bam. And then bam. And then do these line up now? Yes, okay, cool. Very cool how JetBrains set it up so that their merge tool works that way.
Blank
but
screen? Okay.
Mother son of a gun. That is because, right, I've got to do this. Why? Whoa. Freaking OBS. I need to go into OBS and fix that it does that. Like, rewrite that part of OBS. I don't...
Dwarf Fortress again?
No, it's because when I go into the compare with clipboard mode of PyCharm, the window title changes.
Are we playing Dwarf Fortress right now?
No, we are working on code. But I mean, if you'd like to see some Dwarf Fortress, I can maybe do that in the next stream. But no, it's because when I go into the compare tool, it changes the title of the window, and OBS keys off window titles. So whenever the title of a window changes, OBS goes, "Oh my god, where did the window go? I can't find it. I can't show the window, I can't find it." And guess what? Window titles change all the time. So yeah. So in any case, it is not trivial to merge this in. Okay, that's... So what I'm gonna do is... I'm going to tell him to give me that code. Okay, will this work when I switch back? Does this work? That does not work. Oh my god. Okay, if I close the... there we go. Okay. That is so annoying that it works that way. Okay, well... Alright. So... give me the relevant... First, give me the changes to... draw. Give to make it easier to merge in, preserve the like that ink but stub out stub out unchanged code with ... that should just work. Preserve the section markers, and then he's going to write that out for us. He's giving us the prototype. It's giving us that, and there we go. Except my concern is, if we go back to the code, is that actually lining up? I should just double check. Why? What? Oh my god. Wait, no. Okay, that's okay. That red is okay. We actually want that. What the hell is he doing? Okay, we got dot dot dots until rendering setup in context. Rendering setup in context. Width, height, composite surface, content surface. I guess I kind of just have to trust him on this. So let's let's merge this in now. Merge it in properly. Merge it and merge it good. Compare with clipboard. Did we lose OBS? No, we did not. Okay, but if I go back, then we lose OBS. That is really frustrating that it works that way. Okay. So go back. Oh. Okay, well now it works. I don't understand. Okay, so we go like this, we go like this, this, and this. Wait. Yeah, no, that's okay. Man, the view frustum construction is, this really needs to be broken up further, but it's okay. That's not okay. Hold on. Oh my god. Okay. Do not ignore. Move it 1. Now they line up. Really just amazing decision making by the developers of this tool to make it work this way. Okay, now... So... The way we did it was we would get the screen size, and then we'd create these surfaces. That's inefficient. Although I realize now that I really should have double-checked that actually is the way it is, but okay. We'll just trust him. And then we... Is this... Okay. I'm paranoid about these tabs. So instead of using that room content surface we created, we use the room layer that we get passed in. Similarly, we draw this stuff on the room content surface, or the room layer. I told it to draw debug info on the entity layer. So that's fine. Actually, that makes more sense, doesn't it? Okay, that's fine. And then room content service instead, we entity layer. That makes sense. Make sure to clear the mask layer. When do we clear the room? Did it not remember to apply the mask? You never actually clear these layers. Oh, right, it's not supposed to clear the layer. Okay, no, that's correct. Because they're all working on these layers. That's fine. So we don't create the surface for the mask. We reuse the one. And then we just, instead of blitting, we just draw it straight to the layer. That's correct. What's going on here? Why did it remove the not render full room check? Does that make sense? Region soft vertices. If not render full... Oh, it's adding... Okay, it's adding the check, not removing it. Right, because we don't want to create a frustum mask if we... Yeah. If we're rendering the whole room. The problem with that is that now this is all... So this needs to... I can fix that in a second. We draw the frustum on, if we have debug visibility on, we draw the frustum as an overlay on the entity layer. That's correct. Otherwise, we add the frustum to the mask. And then we apply the mask. Okay, now I have to unfuck this. There we go. And there we go. Okay, that's correct. That's correct now. Okay. And then when we do the recursive call, we just need to pass things through. And similarly, pass things through. Okay. Now, so if we tried to run the game now, it would just blow up in our faces because these aren't given to it. So now we'll ask, yes. All right, now give me the main loop. The altered main loop. Okay, that looks pretty good. There we go. Let's take this out. Copy it. Okay. You guys came over okay, I see. It's fine. Go to main. We're going to main. Gonna get some lobster. Okay, so this is all appropriate. We're creating the layers. And then down here, we blank out the layers each frame. Root room draw, that's all appropriate. And then we composite, and then we flip, yep. All good. Since it's is that how it works? Okay, so now we should be able to run the game. We are not able to run the game. Alright. What? Okay, let me take a look at this. Hold on. Add frustum to mask. That's not the one I wanted to click on. There we go. Oh, no. There we go. Add frustum to mask. Add frustum to mask. No, that's up. Where is it? Apply mask, add frustum. Yeah, okay. What made you think... Okay, Claude had a little brain fart there. We're just going to tell him... Tell him about that. That's the error message. Little mistake. The polygon draw function doesn't have the, that is not how you blend onto a SIR. We may have, unless you know some trick I don't, we may have to rethink our approach because don't think there is any way to do that blend directly without drawing the polygon to a surface and then using blit to blend it. Maybe, I'll get his answer, but I think what we're gonna have to do is just combine the frustums mathematically. Now, see, oh my God, Claude, please. Oh. Oh yeah, that's good thinking. Sorry, I cut you off accidentally. That I was about to suggest we just merge the polygons mathematically instead of pixel-wise, but your solution sounds appealing as well. Which do you think will more efficient? The mathematical approach, let's say analytic approach will be, I feel like analytical approach will be much significantly more complex. So if the performance difference isn't large, I would, we'll just ... He understands. Let's actually spell correctly. There we go. Let's think through both approaches. Pixel-based, drawing both polygons. We just draw them. Simple to implement, GPU-accelerated polygon rasterization. That was the word I was looking for earlier, rasterization. More mathematically pure, could potentially be faster for very simple polygons. Would give us exact intersection vertices. Our polygons are simple, the polygon drawing is hardware accelerated. We need complex code to handle all the edge cases in the analytical approach. He's saying, yeah, okay. He is giving us permission to do it the simple way. That's fine. Yep. I think you can just go back and update the existing artifact to implement it that way. He did not do that. Man. Why you like this, Claude? Okay. He's also... Fill is cheap, so it doesn't matter much. But is it necessary to clear the mask layer per room? It's not necessary, but I'm going to stop him. Because it doesn't really affect anything to do it that way. So there we go. Copy this code. We can probably just paste this over. There we go. Masking. Compare. Yep, it really is that simple. Make sure it's bam. There we go. Do these line up? Okay, it's all good. Run it. It's fucked. All right, cool. Oh, that's bad. That is bad. Holy shit. Okay, well that's not correct. We can see the view frustums. That's cool. I guess if we just want to see view frustums, that's acceptable. But yeah. What the hell? Okay. So why is this happening? Let me just take a quick look. Screen blit room, screen blit entity. No, this should be right. Okay. Why? That is really strange. Why is this happening?
Could be worse.
Yeah, it could. Okay. Let me just go back to draw. Okay, if I do this, is it gonna... Yeah, it is. It is indeed. Find room, draw. My guess is that we screwed up the masking. We blanked the mask. We localized the vertices of the polygon. Hold on. All the rooms show up. Well, with your update, the game runs, but the rooms don't show up. A tickle in my brain tells me our little masking trick doesn't actually work the way we want it to. Don't we want the doesn't drawing the polygons, because the way we're doing it now is we have the mask, so the mask is just a picture, like, you know, the screen is a picture, and we draw white on that picture, on the mask, on that surface, wherever we want the room to be drawn. So white is like 1, 1, 1. So if you take that mask and you just multiply it pixel by pixel, you get anywhere where the mask is white, things get drawn. Anywhere where the mask is black, you're multiplying by 0, because black is 0, and it gets blacked out. The problem is that he's like, oh, well, we can just draw the polygon that defines the room and the polygon that defines what part of the room is visible. He's like, oh, we just draw them on top of each other. But it doesn't work that way because, as I'm going to tell him, doesn't drawing the polygons on top of each other give us the union of both polygons when we actually want the intersection? You're absolutely right. I made a logical error. When we draw white polygons on top of each other, we get a union. Any pixel that's in either polygon ends up white, but for masking, we want the intersection. Only pixels that are in both polygons should be white. Well, I don't want to start creating surfaces again. Excuse me, does scratching my beard sound horrible? No, okay. Luckily, my software filters that out. I got itchy beard disease. Here we go. Man, I'm feeling a little weird today. I keep making weird verbal mistakes. So, yeah. I don't like it. You know, we just did all that work to eliminate... I'll just tell him that. But we just did all that...
Not as many mistakes as Claude.
Yeah, I guess so. We just did all that work to... You know, speaking of mistakes, so... Yeah, is this Doxy? Eh, not really. It's, because in the US, we've been having a really bad cold snap. We had a polar vortex. Whatever that means. I mean, I know what it means. It was a big, big circular vortex of air came down from the North Pole and made the whole country super cold. Well, that just cleared. Now everything's unusually warm. So I went out today. Because I have my car modified so that I have a little kitchen in the back. So I'm like, okay, well, it's a nice day. Let me go out to the lake. You know, I'll bring some stuff out of my fridge. I'll pick some stuff up at Walmart. and I'll go out to the lake and do a little cooking and be back just in time for stream. So I got all my stuff together. I went shopping at Walmart. The Walmart was, for some reason, just randomly full of hot women. So I spent an hour in Walmart trying to hit on girls. Did not get anywhere, of course. But I picked up a bunch of stuff on clearance, which was cool. And then a bunch of food on clearance, to be clear. But then I got all the way to the lake. You know, the sun was, down a little bit further than I would have liked it to be. It was kind of the sunset starting. And then I set up all my stuff. I get my ingredients out. I set up the power system to run my cooking equipment. And I realize I left my skillet at home, so I can't cook anything. So I just had to pack up and drive back home immediately. So that was how my day went. But, anyway. So we did all that work to eliminate creating surfaces per room. What can we do? I don't like that we're... There must be a clever... That is how you spell that. Accomplish what we need to. Another way we could get the intersection... What are you doing here? Another way we could get the intersection without a temporary surface. We could use the fact that black, 0, and white, 255, are our only colors and multiply blend modes. But... What? Okay, let me look at the freaking Pygame documentation. Is this going to show anything weird when I do this? No. Because I specifically set up on Pygame. Let me find the docs page. Draw polygon. No. There's no such thing. What? Stop hallucinating. But as we... Oh, okay, he even remembered. Freaking Claude, man. I just realized the special flags parameter doesn't exist. That's what started this whole discussion. Yeah, Claude. It would only be created when not render full room. That is the most common case. Oh my god. Yeah, this is what happens when conversations with Claude get long. He gets stupid. That is, in fact, the most common case by far. Are there any... The most straightforward solution that occurs to me is to simply have 2 masking layers. But that's a little inelegant. I can't shake the feeling. There's some clever trick we can figure out here. Let me noodle on this. We have 2 polygons we want to intersect. All our polygons and masks use pure black and white. Yeah. If we use something with the alpha channel, start with a transparent mask, draw the first polygon in white but with 50% alpha. Draw the second polygon the same way. Then when we apply the mask with blend RGBA min, areas with only 1 polygon have 128 alpha. The min blend will only keep fully opaque pixels. Okay. Huh. That sounds like it would work, so long as your assumption is true. Are you sure about that one? If so, implement it. When we blit with when we blit with blend RGBA min, it takes the minimum of each corresponding channel between source and destination, including alpha. So if we draw our polygons with alpha 128, areas with both polygons would have alpha 255. Yeah. Areas that have, yeah, exactly. Okay, I feel like we're kind of wasting time on this, but let me just... Where are the blit modes documented? They're in here somewhere. That would be under surface, I bet. Draw mini surfaces. Huh. You know, I just noticed we're also not... Oh, that's for pixel axis. That's fine. But... Lock the pixel data of a surface for access. On accelerated surfaces, the pixel data may be stored in volatile video memory or in non-linear compressed forms. When a surface is locked, the pixel memory becomes available to access by regular software. That's a really weird way to put this. I'm pretty sure what they actually mean is that when you lock the surface, it gets copied onto the... copied into CPU memory out of VRAM. Because otherwise, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Okay. That's not relevant right now, but I want to take a look at that. Boo-ba-doo-doo. I don't think any of this is necessarily... There's the whole that's not relevant. Get frecked. Okay. Masks? Bit masks? That's not what I want. Losses. Okay, that's not... None of this is accomplishing anything. Where are these... Self-blitting? The blit is ignored if the source... Oh. Special flags, here we go. Fill. Blend add, blend subtract, blend multiply. That's what we've been doing. Blending with alpha channel. Okay, that's not... Pre-multiplied alpha blending. What? Okay, so now none of this got us anywhere. Okay, we just need to... Nope. Cleverness has failed us. Let's just provide two masking surfaces and use them to build up the mask. Honestly, I'm not sure why I even asked Claude for... Well, yeah, we do have to implement it. Okay. What are you doing? That's not the hard part. Okay, I'm just going to do this myself. This is easy. Actually, hey, where is the mask layer created? Oh, there. Okay. So here's his updated main. Claude? You good? Okay, that's fine. So we'll go... we can just do mask layer 2 equals... Let's align these. I remember when I was new to programming, that was my favorite thing to just sit around and spend time doing, was aligning things. I'm also not into how we're hard-coding our resolution everywhere, but that's easy to fix later. Pygame.circalpha. Mask layer 2. Mask layer. Mask layer 2 equals mask layer 2. And then it's mad because bad, but we can easily fix that. Boo-ba-da-boo. Copy. Mask mask layer 2 Pygame surface. Sometimes we need to mask masks, so we need a tend surf. Go down to the code that uses it. Oh my god, why did you make this over? Okay. Masking. Compare. Does everything line up? Yes. No. No, it doesn't. There we go. Now it does. Right? Right? I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. Okay, it's all good. Let's just omit this. No, let's implement it this way, and then we'll check if it is the way it is. So we draw the room polygon. So we draw the shape of the room to mask 1. And then we... Ooh, did I just screw up? Hold on. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay, cool, cool. And then if we need to, we draw the view frustum to the second mask. But you don't need to do that. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so then we have the shape of the room. We get the intersection of the shape of the room itself and the part of it that we can see, and then we mask the RGBA min. Why is it using min instead of multiply? Hold on. Is that correct? Take the minimum value. Huh? I guess it doesn't matter either way. Take the minimum value. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter either way. Okay, this should actually work now. It does not actually work now. Right, because it did that. Okay, I can easily fix that. I can easily fix that if I can find the relevant code. There it is. Mask layer 1. No, not mask layer 14. How many mask layers are you going to draw? Goddamn. Okay, title that mask layer 1. No. And then we need to go to the recursive calls and also fix that. Mask layer 1 equals mask layer 1. Mask layer 2 equals mask layer 2. I blame my cheap keyboard. That's why I keep making typos. If I had my fancy keyboard with the Cherry MX clears that I spilled water on and ruined, we wouldn't be in this situation. I mean, that's why my code has bugs in it, because my keyboard isn't expensive enough. Okay, so it turns out that that wasn't actually the problem. Oh, that's the other thing, is that F5 actually, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm wondering... hold on. No. Are we handling alpha correctly? Oh, I also need to clear... Oh, no, we already cleared the masks. Screen blit room layer, screen blit entity layer. It should work. Why isn't this working? Screen blit room layer. Okay, let's... What happens if I do this? Nothing. Excellent. And nothing should, if nothing should change if I do this, yeah. Just for shits and giggles, let us... No, there's no need to do that. Never mind. No, I do actually want to, just for sanity's sake, room layer dot save. I remember there used to be a way to take a surface and save it out. So how do you do that? Get view? Did that go away? Get parent, get palette. Set at, must lock, unlock, get alpha. Color key, scroll, fill, copy, convert. No. Display, drive, and font, image. Aha! Oh, that's cool. Is that new? It must be new. Pygame image save. That's what we want. Okay, Pygame. Pygame image save room layer. File is surfdump.png. Run. Okay, kill it. Open up surfdump.png. Okay, that's interesting. Why? Okay, so that is actually telling us something. So you can see I just dumped out the surface that the rooms were supposed to draw to, and we can see it is not all black, it is all transparent. So that's very interesting. It's not 100... Okay, just for shits and giggles again. Just in case this just immediately fixes it. Let me just do this. No, okay. It was worth a shot. Now let's look at surfdump again. Okay, now it's just black because it doesn't have transparency. So that's not the problem. That is not what's wrong with this. So what is wrong with this? Let me just ask Claude in case it pops out to him. Okay. Was definitely a problem, but after fixing it, I still do not see rooms showing up on the screen. I tried using image.save to dump out just the room layer. It is just a totally transparent image. Maybe you made some simple mistake somewhere. Ah, that's the problem. Well, no, that's not the problem. Oh, it's because... Okay, see, I actually called that out as, hey, that's weird, and then it turned out that was actually the problem. Okay, so we'll just blend RGB. Yeah. I thought that was weird. It was taking the minimum instead of multiplying. That is not the problem. Fuck. Using mult instead of min. Does it fix the issue? Fuck no, it doesn't. I did spot that as odd, but fixing it, changing it does not fix the issue. Okay, you've lost it. Okay. Okay. So what happens if we just
You forgot to undo that test change, I think.
undo the dumping out the surface? That's fine. Oh, the undoing the... Yeah, that's actually fine.
That removed transparency.
Yeah, we don't actually need transparency on the room surface. Okay. So it is drawing. Interesting. Okay, so... Yeah, like I was saying, we don't actually need transparency on the room layer because it's the... See, I mentioned this in the last coding stream. It used to be that I could hit Meta Alt left, and that would take me to the last place in my code. But now it takes me to the last window, and I don't understand what changed. Because that was a really useful thing to be able to do. Ugh. Okay. So it is a problem in our calculation of the mask. RGBA mult. First and second mask. I would like to, instead of doing this, oh, it's okay. It's control alt left now. Okay. Well, if I start screaming about how I can't navigate back in my code, remind me that it's control alt left now. So we'll save mask layer 1 to surf dump, and mask layer 2 to surf dump 2. Uh-huh. Interesting. Interesting. Why? That looks like it should be correct. Okay. See, that shouldn't matter. Surf dump to... Okay, the game is very angry that it has to... Okay, there we go. So you can actually see, this is a good illustration at least. This is the... So this is the mask that is the room. So you can see it's a transparent field with a white octagon on it. This is the view frustum. So our player is like here. You can see this is the incoming edge of the... you can see if you look right here, these sides line up exactly. So this is the cone of... You know, this is your field of view through that edge. And then we... What the fuck? Oh... Do you see the issue? It's because we're clearing the stupid mask every time. Wait, is that it? Okay, hold on. Okay, let's just see if not clearing the mask does it. Okay, that fucks everything up. That's because we need to... We do need to clear it. Mask layer dot fill 0000 1 mask layer 2. Ah. Okay, let's actually fix the title of the stupid guy. There. Okay, it's still hosed. Why? Did I... What have I done? Okay, now I'm just lost. Yeah, that's not right. Okay, well... Why is this hard? Why is this suddenly a problem? This wasn't a problem before. What's happening? What is happening? The reason it's failing is because... So, okay. The problem is that we keep... Also... Let me... see, what's the performance counter? Yeah, our average frame time is 182,000. That's odd. Huh? Oh my god, everything's hosed. So the what's happening? I basically understand what's happening. It's because Man, this was supposed to be an easy, like, this was only supposed to take like half an hour. This was supposed to be an easy win before we fix the freaking... Oh, okay. I'm not going to complain. It's happening because before when we... Okay. I think I understand the issue, though. Before, when we had as many surfaces as we wanted, we created each room in isolation and then masked it. Now we put all the rooms on one surface and apply each room's mask to that whole, each individual room's mask to the whole collective surface. See the problem? For every room. When we apply a room's mask to a room later, we are masking out all previously drawn rooms. So we still need one. No. We just introduce one more. Just one more surface, bro. One more work surface that we draw each room on. No, each room's contribution to room layer on, mask it, then blit that to room layer proper. Make sense? Maybe there's a simpler way, but seems like the simplest answer to me. Yeah, okay. I would actually rather name it work surface instead of work layer, but that's fine. Okay, let me just create the work. The main work layer equals like so. And is it being intelligent about blanking? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Okay. And then we got to pass that in. Draw is responsible for clearing the work layer, although we can clear it too. Okay, update the signature. Without this, our mask will clobber. This masking. Keep it under that 80 character, 120 character. Is it 80 characters? I'm not sure. Yeah, I have it set to 120 characters. We don't want things getting too long. Okay. So we have the work layer coming in. We have our code. We got to look for rendering setup and context. There we go. And then we go down to masking. And we compare with clipboard. Make sure everything's lined up. So it clears the work layer. Hold on. Let's not delete this comment. It's a really important one. There we go. Clear the work layer. Draw the floor texture to the work layer. Draw the walls to the work layer. Like so. We don't, It's drawing all the entities at the end. That's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Work layer blit. Clear the mask layers. Yeah, and we do need to clear the mask layers per, don't we? No, it doesn't matter. But let's just try it. And do. This should actually work. It does not actually work. Oh, because I screwed it up. Right. I forgot to update the recursive calls. Unresolved attribute reference draw for class object. What? Okay, sidetrack. What's going on here? Who did this? The hell? Okay. Now let's go down into the recursive calls. This is a big-ass call here. Mask layers, then we pass in the work layer equals work. And probably in the final version of the code, we will not be passing these around. They'll just be global. Work layer equals work layer. There we go. Okay, we have gotten back to where we started, but now you can see we don't get our edges trimmed off. And how does that affect performance? It feels better. It definitely feels quicker. If I was thinking, I would have actually noted down our frame time. I would feel very silly if I would actually check and then find out that it... You know what? You know what we need to do, actually, is, maybe I'll do this on stream. You know, I can't shake the feeling now that this isn't actually any faster. No, it's definitely faster, because it was almost unplayable in this pentagon. So it's definitely better now. Yeah, so now that we're not... yeah, because every time you create a surface with SDL, I'm pretty sure that involves sending... Wait, did I just escape the room? Is that bug back?
That looks good.
Ah! Oh no. Okay. So it's not that bad because... Oh no. Why is this happening now? Oh, you can actually see... Okay, that's cool. Let me escape again. It is pretty hard to escape. But it's actually really cool to me that the rendering code still works if you escape. You see that? That's actually really cool. I mean, it would work, but it's still cool. So honestly, escaping isn't actually that big a deal because as soon as you... Okay, wait, what if I get really far away? Sidetrack, but... There we go. Okay, what if you get really far away? If you get really far away... No, if you get really far away, you can actually escape. That is, Okay, you can't really. So... Yeah, because... So the way this works, the way the impact works is because it's checking... Because the room is convex, it basically... How does it work? Yeah, it checks your the dot product of the vector from the midpoint of... You know what? I don't remember how it works, but basically there's a way of checking... It just... To tell if you're inside the room you're supposed to be, it checks if you are... You know what? I wonder if I can actually break it by... It checks... Basically, it checks if you are on the correct side of each wall. And if you are, then it says, oh, you must be in the room. And if you aren't, if you're on the wrong side of a wall, then it snaps you back into the room. And also gives you a little bounce. Which, so long as you run into the walls headlong, that looks perfect. But you can see, you know, if I attack the exact corner of a room... Oh, now it's not going to do it. There we go. You know, which wall am I on the wrong side of? I'm not on the wrong side of this one. I'm not on the wrong side of this one. I'm not on the wrong side of this one. So clearly I must be inside the room. Well, I'm not. But as soon as I don't think this is actually that big a deal because as soon as I end up clearly on the wrong side of a room, it snaps me back. So it's... I think I can actually just leave this alone because it's not clear that you can actually... This is just a fun little thing that some people are going to find. So, yeah, it's not that big a deal. I'm just wondering now if I can attack this corner like that. And let's see, can I break moving between rooms like that? I don't think so, no? You probably could if you worked at it. See... People tolerate bugs, especially because it's an indie game made by one guy. People are going to be like, you know, someone in their playthrough of this game is going to do this once, and they're going to be like, oh, indie game, haha, I got out of the room. Okay, back to playing the game. There we go. But if you manage to get into the wrong room, that will actually break your game. But it doesn't look like it's not actually that easy, but... No, it doesn't look like... Ooh, what was that? Can I break it? Can I break it? What if I do like this? Which room am I in? I'm in this one. Okay, if I do like this... No, okay, it does... I feel like it is still possible to break it that way, but it doesn't look like it's all that easy. Can I escape from this one? Okay, so it looks like it's only the triangle that you can escape from, too. Because any other shape, the corners are so... You know, the corners aren't so sharp. But anyway, I think we've made a big FPS improvement. Let me open up the FPS counter. That doesn't look like an improvement. So average frame time is looking to be... It's interesting how inconsistent it is. Why? Why? It might be because I'm streaming. So one thing that I want to do is set up a performance test harness So instead of having to do performance testing, you know, based on vibes by just playing the game, because it's really easy to fool yourself, we didn't make it slower with all that work, did we? Tell me we didn't make it slower. Why is it just ping-ponging between 60 and 20 FPS? It must be because I'm streaming, so okay. We'll make a note of that going forward. Don't trust FPS numbers while you're streaming. Like if I go here, okay, where the easiest to render place in the map is this corridor here. So if I go here, I used to get really good performance in this little corridor here, and now I'm getting 30 FPS. So it must be, okay, I think we just can't trust performance numbers when we're streaming. But it feels better. One thing that I want to do that maybe we should do right now is set up a performance test harness. So instead of having to boot up the game and play through it and be like, oh, well, this feels faster, we would set up a script that starts up the game and then plants the player. Okay, the player plants in this room, then he goes in this room. It just teleports you to the center of this room, and then maybe this room and some other rooms that are specifically constructed to... Oops. Oops. Okay, that's not good. Right. Because it used to be that we applied the mask to the entire room and then... Why did this not happen before? It used to be that we applied the entire mask, the mask to the entire room, entities and all. Oh boy. What happens if we... Because it should actually be okay. There might be an easy way to fix this. Because we are no longer masking the entity surface, the entity layer. So, oh no, that does in fact break everything. Okay. Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So what we can do... Just one more surface, bro. Just one more. What we can do is build up an entity mask and basically just combine all the masks that we generate as we render and then apply that to the entity layer before we draw it. Is that the smartest way to do it? Is that the smartest way to do it? How else could we do it? No, there's one... Okay, there's two ways we could do it. The other way would be to just draw the entities to the work surface and then mask them again. Instead of drawing to entity layer, draw them to... We blank the work surface. Okay, we need this. And then when do we blank the work surface? There it is. Clear the work surface again. Now we'll use it for entity, for drawing, then masking the entities to the work layer, work layer, then use the same mask to mask this room's entities as well. So then we just do badam, and then split the masked entities to the entity layer. Entity layer dot, okay, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, that will work because of the alpha. Dot blit work layer 0, 0. Okay. So if I go, I can see myself. Oh. Right, because it's still being clipped. Right. So that won't fix it. Man, that makes it worse. It's worse than where we were when we started. Okay, does it fix the problem though? It should. It just, yeah, I don't even really need to check. It should fix it. It does fix it, but oh boy. Okay, so we do need to, so the reason that doesn't work is because we still clip, so okay. That's fine. We just need another freaking surface. Because we're clipping by the room's mask, we get clipped out when we approach the boundaries of the room. So all we need to do is we need one more freaking layer, one more mask rather. Entity mask equals, it should be entities mask. And I have to move all of these. No, we have to move them by 2 to make them line up. And this one doesn't really need alpha either, but I'll leave it. Entities mask. Blank it out.
For the visible rooms.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is we need to build up a mask for everywhere on the screen that is okay to draw. And then that will, you know what, that's actually a good thing to have, because we may have uses for that later on, so we may as well build it. And then we'll clip the entities by that. So that'll clip out entities that we can't see, and it won't clip out entities that we can. So that's fine. We just got to pass that in then. Entities mask equals entities mask. And then we have to update all of our recursive calls. Mask layer 2. Oh, hold on. Where did I put that? After mask layer 2. Entities mask. Mask that is white everywhere on the screen that is inside a, that is visible to my of whole visible world of all visible regions, visible of.
Will it also clip the player who escaped through a corner?
You know what? It actually will. That's a good thought. It actually will. Is that a problem? No, it's not a problem.
But you want that?
Yeah, I mean, do I want that? Yeah, it's not a big issue. You know, it might confuse people because they'll wonder where their player...
Disappearing beats being inside the wall.
Yeah, but I mean, also the camera will still move. So it'll make it a little bit weirder, but it's a bug anyway. Mask of mask representing which pixels are visible. Man, mask of all of entire visible world. We clip, we draw entities and then clip them for clipping entities to visible. We shouldn't see. Clipping out entities we shouldn't see. Why is it screaming? Oh. Surface. And then we got to go down to our masking code. And when we get the okay, so we don't want this. Entity layer. Add this room's visible section to the map of all visible sections, so we can flip out non-visible parts of entities before splitting the entity layer. Entities mask dot blit mask layer 1 at 0, 0. That should just work. We actually want to blend RGBA max. I don't think this actually matters, but like there's multiple ways we could approach that. And then we got to actually update all our freaking golly goshin' entities layer, entities mask equals entities mask. And then we go back to the other recursive call. Entities mask equals entities mask. Okay, and we are not masking, so we will have the bug back, I think. Okay, but we don't have this, but if we... see, is there a way I can arrange it so that I shouldn't be able to see myself? No, there isn't. So we'll go back to where we went to test that. I don't know why I'm putting so much effort into testing something that shouldn't work. There we go. So it's interesting. Oh, right, because we stop rendering. You know, that implies that we are rendering... oh, yeah, no, that is correct. It is correct that we're rendering this room, because if I go into F5... huh. That totally broke the F5. Okay, well, we got to fix that in a second. But it is correct that we're rendering this room because it is here. We just shouldn't be rendering the player. So now we go down to the bottom, and before we blit on the entity layer, we entity layer dot cut mask off the entity layer by the mask of the visible parts of the entire by the whole screen visibility mask. Entity layer dot blit entities mask 0, 0 special flags equals blend RGB a mult. Okay. So now now we cannot see ourselves when we shouldn't. Excellent. But if I F5... Oh, if I F5, everything's just fucked now, huh? Why is that happening? Well, I can fix that later, but... Yeah, you can see that we no longer see ourselves when we shouldn't. But we do see ourselves when we should, because if I go back to the mirror room, if I can find the mirror room... Let's see, do I see myself in the mirror room? Yes, I do. I'm talking to the man in the mirror. Huh. That's a little glitchy looking. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. Is my player disappearing too soon? He is. He is. Why is that happening? That room is being cut off before it should be. See that? What's going on there?
What is F5 supposed to do?
F5 is supposed to, instead of clipping the rooms by the view frustum, it's supposed to just show me, it's supposed to draw everything and then show me in blue the part that's supposed to be drawn, but it's just a debugging thing. It doesn't need to... Oh, you see that? That's not right. That's not right at all. What the f... that is happening. What the hell? So do you see what I see? Because you see this, it's kind of hard to see because of the texture. You see this... Yeah, this room is being cut off early. So now I need my debug view back because, okay.
Looks cool.
It does, but it's definitely wrong. I'm wondering if this is actually the same issue. Okay. I'm going to actually get a ruler and put it against my screen. Line it up with... Okay, that isn't actually a straight. Okay, this is straight. Yeah, okay. So... Here's the thing. This cutoff being here, that's actually correct. What's incorrect... I wish I could draw... Imagine a line where my mouse cursor is going. This side of that line should not be... This side of that line should be black. This being here is actually completely right. It looks wrong because this is wrong. And again, this is wrong because this needs to rotate.
Is the purple one wrong?
Yes. Only the purple one is wrong. The TTS mangled your message, but he actually said only the purple one is wrong. Yeah, only the purple one is wrong, I think. Well, I mean, they're both wrong because they are both wrong, but this part isn't wrong. It's the line being cut where it is isn't wrong. It's the fact that like, this should be casting a shadow with a straight edge. You see what I mean? But it's not. It's got these jaggies in it. It's got this sawtooth pattern. That is because when we are moving the ray correctly, but the ray needs to rotate in addition to moving. So, okay, that is actually a larger problem than I thought it was. But also, okay, let's go back and test what you were saying about what if we escape. So let's escape. Yeah, you can see we get cut off when we escape, which is fine. Yeah, I think my only concern is a player escaping accidentally and not understanding what just happened. But you can still see your character going into the black. So I think, yeah, I think someone who discovered this bug will be like, "Oh, I escaped, it's cool," instead of freaking out. I wonder if it is actually correct. Well, we should... Part of the... Oh, you know what? In fact, this will actually fix the... When I do this properly, this will actually fix the escape bug. Like, right now, the player has a hitbox that is exactly one... It's not even a pixel. It's just a tiny, like, infinitesimally small point. And the player should have a hitbox that is the size of the player's icon. Also... Well, that's weird. The player should have a hitbox that is the size of the entire icon. So... That's why we can, you know, kind of stuff our nose into the wall, because the player's
I see. It won't happen.
Right. The player's hitbox is actually this point right here. And that is why we can slip through, but you can see if we had a correct hitbox, we couldn't even get close to that edge. So that really will fix the escape problem. If we just implement that, that really will fix the escape problem once and for all. But, yeah, you can see those bent shadows. This is the best illustration of it here, but you can also see it here. That is actually a huge problem. So what do I want to work on next? I want to save the bent shadows problem for off-screen. Off-stream, rather. I think I will. Because that one's going to take thinking. And I want to, you know, it's not interesting to sit and watch me think about a problem without saying anything. I do think I have a solution. We just need... See, the thing is, I was hoping that we could keep it so that this room does not know anything about the player. But it's pretty clear that this room does need to know where the player is, because it needs to be able... Unless I can... There might be a clever trick that we can just recover. Why doesn't it happen... Why doesn't this problem happen twice? Because of this edge here. It doesn't happen twice. We could probably set up a place where both edges of the shadow would be bent. It's only not bent because this wall here. What am I saying? Yeah, so I'm just wondering if there's a way I could recover how much I need to rotate this ray, how much I need to rotate the edge of the shadow, instead of knowing where the player is, so I can say, okay, it has to be a straight line from here to the player, which wouldn't be that bad. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But I'm just wondering if I can say, okay, well, I'm halfway along the edge, so I need to rotate the edge of the shadow 45 degrees. I need to rotate it 90 degrees. Maybe? Maybe? Because, okay, like... If none of the line is covered, then we need to rotate the edge of the shadow. We need to rotate the ray 0 degrees. If the whole edge is covered, we need to rotate the ray... Well, it's not 90 degrees. It's like 45 degrees. I think I am just going to have to bite the bullet and preserve information about where the player is, which we can do. We have the transform. It's not that big a deal. I was just hoping... It's just for the sake of cleanliness and elegance. I wanted to not have the distant rooms not know where the player is, but I don't think there's any way around it. We have to know where the player is. So that's fine. What was the other thing I wanted to fix? I don't even remember now. Oh, I wanted to fix the fact that, the one thing remaining that gives away that this is connected rooms and not a continuous space is the fact that our aim point is glitchy. So you can see, yeah, we're not pointed anywhere near our mouse cursor. And the code that detects which direction the player character should be pointing anyway is pretty hosed. So, you know what's interesting? Because when we designed this, we said that it should, like, the character that... What the hell?
Don't you want that for stuff like shooting between rooms anyway?
What do you mean? Basically, what I'm complaining about is the fact that the player... Well, that's odd. Wait, it gets worse? Oh, it gets worse as you get closer to the edges of the room. When you're in the center of a room...
Other rooms knowing where the player is.
Other rooms knowing where the player is. No, because the way we would do it would be that when we click, we create a bullet object, and the bullet object just, like, traces itself, if that makes sense. Like, just like the player is moving between rooms right now, you know, like the player... Like, imagine that the player is the bullet. I fire the bullet, and the bullet just knows that it has to go, and then it hits a wall. It doesn't have to know where the player is. That part's fine. It's just in the vision code that we need that information. But, as I was saying, the way we figure out, you know, the way we make the player track the mouse is stupid anyway, so we just need to go and fix it. What's interesting is it said that when we wrote that code, it said that the version of the player that is closest to the mouse would track the mouse. And it isn't even trying to do that, so that's not important. But let's fix that. So the code that does that is... it's on player update orientation? Yes. So already this is just nonsense here. Because it's trying to find the instance of the player that is closest... I mean, this made sense before we had the camera. This predates our camera code, if you remember. So I get why it did that at the time, but yeah, this is just totally wrong. Plus, it is actually traversing... What happens if I Does this get, like, significantly faster if I just return? Because does this have to return anything? No. Just return. I mean, not really. It doesn't really get faster, but you can even see. That's weird. Oh, our handling of rotations is totally wrong. Oh. Huh. Look at that. That's not right. Okay, well, that's actually a more urgent issue. Huh. Huh. It's funny, because I actually told Claude, hey, we know the code that handles rotations is correct in the entity transfer room, so you should queue off of that when you're doing the visibility code. But it turns out that code isn't even right. So what exactly is happening? Yeah, it's just not being updated at all, because you can see we're turning 180 degrees whenever we make the transition. Well, that's bullshit. Okay, so first of all, point the player, make the player face towards the mouse cursor. Face towards where the mouse cursor is on screen. The player character that, well, face, see, even defining, the problem is because we have this whole non-Euclidean thing, defining where, you know, asking the question of where is the mouse cursor relative to the player is not trivial. But we can, yeah, update the player, set the player's orientation so he is pointed at the position the mouse cursor is, would be if its position on screen was transformed into the current player's rooms. Coordinate space. Yeah, we just have to undo the camera transform. That's fine. Yeah, so this should actually be really simple. Okay, so for now, we'll just leave this as a stub. Stub. Not for now. Implement this properly later. We'll do a to-do. So yeah. Just double check this runs. It does. What happens if we go through the corridor? Yeah. Yeah, that's not right. That is not right. Actually, do we... Just for curiosity's sake. Okay. This is silly, but I'm just gonna... Okay. So we're facing this way. I go through the corridor. Yeah, we're not facing quite the same way. Oh, or we are, but the room is rotated. Huh. Okay, that doesn't actually matter. It was just a neat thing. So something is wrong in transfer to room. What's odd is that, hey, rot equals in transform velocity equals rot multiplied by self-velocity. Update orientation using the rotation angle from the transform. What happens if I totally comment this out? Huh. Huh? Okay. It's really weird that this is... Okay, let's talk to Claude about it.
It looks better.
Yeah. I'm thinking Again, this is a I wish I understood geometry situation. I'm wondering if because we're storing the rotation angle as just an angle, you know, just degrees, that we don't need to...
You're directing using the cursor, not keys, right?
Yeah, the cursor is supposed to control the player's orientation, and the keyboard just controls his position. There was a little hitch there. There is a little hitch. Did we multi... We've been bouncing this entire time and I didn't even notice. Okay, that's fine. What happens if I do this? Because this should break everything. Yeah, so the reason I'm concerned is this apply, like, in the case of... Because this code is the same for every entity. So the player is just one example of entity, but if I said, like, the bullet example I gave earlier, you want the bullet to continue facing the way it was facing when it... Yeah, so if I don't update velocity, then it gets silly. You see? Like if I do this, yeah. But why... I don't understand why not touching the orientation...
So you can walk backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be able to walk backwards. Because that's kind of... It's a twin stick shooter, even though it's not done with sticks because it's a PC game. So your character's orientation is...
And you have 360-degree vision?
Yeah. We could give the player non-360-degree vision, but I mean, A, that would be a little bit harder, and B, I don't want to do that. It's like I said, we're trying to copy this game called Teleglitch. For some reason, OBS can't capture it. I guess I can just pull up a video of it, huh?
Lul.
There we go. You can see where I got the inspiration from, right? How are we going to implement... Oh yeah, that should be pretty simple. So basically, the idea... Because, you know, if you want to make a game and get it done relatively quickly, the smart move is to take a game that you know works and then just copy as much as you can and just put one little twist on it, you know? And this game came out, like, over a decade ago now. Yeah, 11 years ago. So I'm not going to get yelled at for copying off it. If you plagiarize something from over 10 years ago, it's not plagiarism, it's inspiration. And you change it enough. But, yeah. The idea is we're going to take a game that works, which is this game, and we're just going to add one twist. I mean, I'm going to change, like, some of the mechanics around shooting and add some other stuff. It's not going to be... Like, it's not going to be a direct one-to-one copy, but I'm trying to take as much inspiration as I can and then kind of use that as a base to go off of. But the way that the player controls and moves, that's what I'm copying. So you can see... The player faces towards... Well, actually, the player faces towards where he's moving. But when you're shooting, the player faces towards the mouse cursor. So your movement and your aim are totally decoupled from each other. I could even change that if I decide I don't like it, but that's what we're starting with. So the player looks at the cursor and he moves according to WASD. So I just don't understand. Like, it is incredibly strange to me that skipping that work to rotate the orientation. Skipping that work to rotate the orientation makes it work. That's really strange, and I don't get it. See, there's also... We're not bouncing, but there's a little hitch every time we... Oh yeah, no, we were bouncing, because if you see 18 to 19, 19 to 20, 20 to 19. No, that's correct. Hold on. No. No. 18, 19, 20. 20, 19, 18. Why is there a little bump? No, okay, yeah, 18 to 1, 1 to 18, that's why. And then we went 20 to 19. And 20, 19, 19. No, there was no double there. 18 to 19. 19 to 18, 18 to 19. Yeah, 18. Yeah, so, okay. That's just because... We'll fix that later. No. No, there's something else going on. Hold on. What the hell? No, okay, I don't know. Alright. We're thinking about the freaking rotations right now. My big concern is we just turned this code like... Surely it takes work... Like, surely it takes work to...
Doesn't seem like you're plagiarizing that. It's just top-down. It would be like saying all isometric games are copycats.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of joking when I say, oh, it's not plagiarism because it's old. You're taking inspiration. It'll be different. Because kind of my way of developing games is, you know, there's an old saying. You know, there's the old discussion of, are games art? And it's like, okay, well, what is art? And the best definition of art that I've seen, that I've heard, is art is that which, when you see it, it makes you want to create something like it. Art is that which inspires you to create art. And, you know, when I make games, I go, okay, I'll take a game I like, and I will just make that game again. But in the process of making it, there's things I'm going to, you know, ideas I'm going to have and things I want to change. So you end up making it your own. You know, plagiarism would be if I literally took every single thing from that game and just changed the names of things. That would be plagiarism. But so long as you're just making something very close, but, you know, you make it your own, you put your own ideas into it, it's not. It's just inspiration. That's the way I see it. But it's fun to joke about plagiarism. But anyway, you know, it's fun to joke about because the truth is there is no really hard line between inspiration and plagiarism, so it's fun to joke about, oh, well, you know, if it's 10 years old, then it's not plagiarism, but yeah. In any case, the big question is, why don't we need to move between coordinate systems? So I'm going to ask Claude about this. I'm not sure how to ask him. So the thing is, our rotation angle is stored in... What is it actually stored in? It's either degrees or radians. I think it's radians. Is it radians? I actually don't know. In radians, okay. So it's stored... The orientation is stored as radians off of...
Making a copy can take a lot of skill. more than making something original.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So the orientation is stored as degrees of rotation away from the x-axis. Or maybe the y-axis. I'm pretty sure it's the x-axis. So when we draw, why is it playing Christmas music? Get that out of here. So when we enter a new room, the x-axis changes. Let's paste this into Claude and get his perspective on this. So the way the game works, so the game world is made up of convex polygon rooms with connections between them. So, as you know, the nature of these connections is such that all the rooms have their own coordinate systems, are usually rotated relative to each other, i.e. we define, when we create a pentagonal room, it's created with the point of the pentagon pointing along the negative y axis. If we tell that pentagon that it is connected by its 0th edge, by its base to another pentagon, it gives us a world where with that second pentagon will have its point gone when the world is drawn to screen. If we build a world with two pentagons connected at the base, at each one's respective base, that will give us, when that world is drawn, it will appear as, that the first pentagon's point will point towards the minus y of the point along the minus y axis of the screen, and the seconds will point on the positive y axis of the screen. Despite both pentagons in their own coordinate system pointing towards negative y. When we draw, we spin the second pentagon so that its base lines up with the base of the draw second one. Rotated and translated so that its base lines up with the base of the first. And so, and we perform this transformation recursively for all of its connections. So, when any entity moves from one room to another, its position must be transformed as well. Transformed by the inverse of that same transform. If we move towards the base of pentagon 1, and then pass through it, we should appear at the base. Well, that example isn't very good, is it? Our move through a connection where the child room had to be rotated 90 degrees to match up. Then we must rotate our velocity vector, and the vector that translates us from the center of the room to our position within it. At the origin point, by the inverse of that same transform. Right? Check my logic here. But I'm pretty sure I'm right, because that principle the game its current code is based on, and it seems to work. Oops, I hit enter. Okay, well, that's fine. Your logic is correct when moving from room A to room B. If we need to rotate, translate room B to visually align with room A, then objects moving from A to B need the inverse transform. This is because the transform matrix stored on the connection maps coordinates from B space to A space, but we want to map coordinates from A space to B space. Looking at your code, inverse transform equals invert transform. This part is correct. You're using homogeneous coordinates to properly handle both rotation and translation in one matrix multiplication. This is also correct. Velocities are vectors, not points, so they only need the rotational component, the transform, no translation. However, I noticed something interesting about the commented out orientation code. You ask why this is unnecessary. Let's think about it. If orientation represents the entity's rotation relative to the room's coordinate system, i.e. 0 means pointing along the room's positive x-axis, then you do need to transform it. If orientation represents the entity's absolute rotation relative to the screen/view space, then you don't need to transform it. Well, the first statement is true. So which is correct depend... Okay, this is one of those situations where we have two bugs and the bugs line up. That's what's happening here. So what's happening is we should need to translate, or not translate, but rotate the orientation when you cross a boundary. However, our drawing code treats the entity's rotation as relative to the screen, not relative to... Yeah. Because if we look at the code, that does the actual drawing, you can see when it does that rotation, points a pen, screen pause. So it's doing all this work in screen space. So it's rotating the player in screen space. So yeah, this is two bugs on top of each other and they cancel out. Because the draw treats that orientation variable as rotating from the x-axis of my monitor rather than the x-axis of the room. So which is correct depends on how oh, you can't see. Why can't you see? Right, because, right. If orientation represents the entity's absolute rotation relative to the screen/view space, then you don't need to transform it. So which is correct depends on how orientation is used elsewhere in your code. If bullets fire in the direction of orientation relative to the room's coordinate system, then you need the transform. If bullets fire in the direction of orientation relative to the screen, then you don't. And then he's giving me unsolicited advice. One suggestion for the code, when doing the epsilon adjustment towards center, be careful about the edge case where new pause is exactly at 0, 0. That'll never happen. You might want to add a small check. Why? Towards center equals new pause. All that'll do is not boost me, but that's not a problem. That'll never happen because we enter through the edges of rooms, remember? In the case where we force a transition because we're teleporting or something, it's okay for the adjustment to be small or adjustments magnitude to small or 0. No, because, oh, no, what he's saying is that, okay, that's actually a real call out. Hold on. He's saying this is going to cause a division by 0. Ah, good catch. As it stands, that will never happen because we enter rooms via their edges. But if I implement a teleport function or something, and we teleport to the center of, to the origin point center of a room, we will indeed get 0 division error. I'll make a note of that and fix it later. So, my intention was that orientation represents rotation from the axis of the room, not the screen. So removing that code gave us the appearance of, so it appeared that we had a bug in rotation handling during transfers because the draw code misinterpreted it as rotation from the axis of the screen. So actually, we had no bug, it was just that the draw, or we had no bug in the rotation, it's just that the draw was messed up. Right? let's fix this right now. And commenting out that code appeared to fix things because of that bug. Fix things, but it was actually just creating a bug that canceled out the other bug, the real bug. Could you double check the rotation logic to make sure it really is correct? If so, let's then fix the draw code. I would like it to generate that triangle, a sprite, and save it, and then rotate it when splitting to the given surface. Rotate it before splitting to the given surface anyway, instead of dynamically generating it every frame anyway. Here is the entire entity. Get the whole entity. There we go. Oh. Attach the entire entity. You can respond with just the method that needs updating on its own. An artifact. What else do we need to tell him? Nothing? Nothing, okay. Alright. During initialization. Save it. That will make it would need that to be that way if it will need to work that way when we graduate from generating a placeholder to actually loading in a proper sprite image. Methods that need updating, each in their own artifact. This is correct. If orientation is relative to the room's positive x-axis, and we move to a new room where the coordinate system is rotated by angles theta. How is it calculating theta? Also, are we getting that twice? No, we're not. Okay, that's cool. The inverse transform matrix top 2x2 contains adding theta to our orientation means if we're pointing at angle alpha in the old room, we'll point at angle alpha plus theta in the new room. This preserves our direction relative to the room's coordinate system. Okay. So we got the new init. Let's diff it in. Oh, that's easy. Okay. And then in draw, that looks right. We got the new draw. compare. Tab it so that it lines up. Rotate the sprite vertices, but rotate the sprite... Wait, what? That's not what I wanted. Oh my god. Oh, I mean, It would be kind of cool to... It would be kind of cool. I'm just thinking maybe it would be kind of neat to our little engine for this game have it be that some entities can be images and or everything is just defined in terms of vectors. That would be kind of cool. You know, I'm going to go with this. This is actually... I'm just gonna roll with it. This isn't what I asked for, or this isn't what I had in mind, but it's kind of cool. I wanted it to draw, you know, a picture with a triangle on it, and set that to the sprite of the player. What it did was generate a triangle, and then like rotate the triangle and draw a triangle to the screen. Which is kind of cool. I'm not actually against that. Why is the game running so much better now? Was it really that slow? Okay, here's the thing. Won't doing that... No, it's okay. It's just me being a silly Billy. Never mind. Okay. What I had in mind was that you'd draw the triangle to a surface and then rotate and split that surface. But actually, which of these approaches is more efficient? Maybe it would be cool for the game's graphics to all be vector-based. I do intend for... Yeah, actually, I do intend for rooms to be able to be scaled relative to each other. So having vector-based graphics would be a big help there. Entities be graphics be vector-based makes sense given that potential requirement. I did flirt with the idea of rooms being scaled relative to each other. Having entity graphics be vector-based makes sense given that potential requirement. If rotating and drawing the poly entity is significantly slower than rotating and splitting a sprite, though we'd better go with that approach. Vector-based approach, must perform matrix multiplication, quality loss during rotation. Okay. Well, you can't do that, Claude. That doesn't work that way. Okay, Claude is cooking. So the vector approach is actually quite efficient for simple shapes like triangles. Well, well, might be. Oh yeah, it would. That is true. Hmm. Yeah, okay. I'd forgotten that I thought about the idea of having rooms have scale. Because, you know, the way we're using transforms, you can have a room... How exactly would we handle that? Basically, it's kind of an... We would have kind of an Alice in Wonderland thing, where you... Like, you walk through a door, and you come out small... It's hard to explain. Was that even a thing in Alice in Wonderland? Basically, the transforms that we're using have a parameter for scale. So... Yeah, I'm not sure how to explain this. But, yeah. So doing it this way actually makes sense. Have complex entity graphics. Well, I do kind of want my graphics to be detailed. Texture mapping or complex gradients. What? Want to support complex sprite-based animations. That's also a thing. Yeah, sure. Use... Think carefully. Well, so the thing is... Okay, let's not do any optimizations, because... Like, in a final version of the game, we wouldn't want it to be... We wouldn't want it to be object-oriented like this anyway. We would want to have it be more data-oriented. Although, I don't know, because things are so different. The data-oriented approach makes sense if you have a bunch of the same entity, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, okay. So what we've got right now is actually the right thing, basically. Just for shits and giggles, let me comment this out again. Let's see it. Let's watch it be broken. So now you can see, yeah. I mean, that one's fine because of the way that it is, but yeah. You can see now that we've broken it, it's flippy. Okay. So in any case, what we set out to do was to... Okay, now it actually works. What we set out to do was to... I'm just captivated by moving around in this game. It's so cool. I think we're onto something. This is going to be cool. Let me try to escape again. Ah. And then we get warped back in. There we go. Okay. We were trying to fix the, Okay, one other question I want to ask Claude is, right now we're storing... Right? Makes sense. One more question. Let's save optimization for after we've gone further down the road of requirements discovery. For one last question for now is, right now we store the orientation as radian in radians. Might it be better to store it as a direction vector instead? Talk me through the of each. approach in the context of the game. I feel like storing it as a vector would make the transfer function slightly simpler. It makes things like and it feels like it makes things like and more efficient. It feels like it makes things like pointing the player at the mouse cursor simpler and faster as well. Maybe I'm wrong. Simpler and faster as well. We can skip the trig operation. Skip a bunch of trig operations every frame. Per object per frame. Let's analyze both approaches in the context of our non-Euclidean game. Current approach, radians, single float value, less memory, that doesn't matter. Directly represents rotation, intuitive for angles, easy to interpolate for smooth rotation animations, yeah. Precise and doesn't accumulate floating point errors from normalization. Yeah. Cons, requires trig operations for converting room transfers pointing at mouse, need to handle wrapping around 2π. That doesn't matter. Less efficient for frequent direction calculations. More efficient for common operations. Consistent with how we handle velocity, no wrapping issues to manage. More numerically stable for small angle differences. Need to maintain normalization, can accumulate errors. I don't understand what that would look like. Less intuitive for setting specific angles, sure. Interpolation is more complex, true. Converting degrees for drawing /UI needs arctan2 anyway. Let's look at how the transfer code would change. So with the vector approach, instead of having to do a trig operation and extract the such and such, we just rotate. Actually, is that even right? Well, no. Okay, yeah, no. And for pointing at the mouse... Yeah, I mean... I would actually recommend switching to a direction vector. Okay. But that's cheaper than the trig operations we're currently doing. Yeah. Refactor to use a direction vector. And then I will need to change some other stuff to be like it is, but yeah, that's fine. Then he's going to write that out. Okay, let me just, so, yeah. Okay. Do. Overwrite. Compare with clipboard. Da-da-da. Okay. Instead of orientation, we have direction. Do. Point at. Oh, he's even. Yeah, huh. That's cute. I actually like that. Although he's clobbered the update. No, he hasn't. Okay, that's fine. He just put it at the end. That's absolutely fine. What about handle edge collisions? Did he clobber that? He did clobber handle edge collisions. Man, Claude, why you gotta be like this? Okay, that's fine. So we'll just copy that back over. But yeah, handle edge collisions doesn't care about the player's rotation, right? I just gotta look. No, it doesn't. Okay, so we can just copy that over. That's absolutely fine. And of course, they can't make it easy. So we'll just paste that back in. Handle edge remains exactly the same. Update goes at the bottom. This is fine. This is fine. I need to renormalize. Move epsilon units. Why did you... Oh, he's... Okay, that's cool. That's fine. Alright, and he also... I like this comment being here. Now we need to copy over point at. Okay. Yeah. It all works. Double check that it actually does work. Yeah. I'm still concerned about this little bump that keeps happening. You see that? What was that? Yeah, it's just, okay, it's just double moving. Alright. Well, okay. I'm getting, I don't want to get sidetracked. We need to fix the whole pointing at the mouse cursor. So let's start a new conversation. Oh my god, what the hell happened here? So we can give him a simplified version of the code. I wish PyCharm let you, like when you minimize, like if I wanted to minimize room.draw, I wish it was possible, because if you, like if I copy this, it copies the actual, I wish I could make it, maybe I can? Copy reference, copy as plain text. Does this work? No. Okay. What I could do is just... like replace the body with an actual ... And just immediately undo that. There we go. Alright. We have the game in a pretty... basics of the game in a pretty good state. The next thing I want to fix is next mechanic I want to add next. Just being picky about our phrasing. The next thing I want to implement is having the player always point at the mouse cursor. So we need to I believe the best way to accomplish this would be to apply the inverse of the camera transform. Yeah, apply the inverse of the camera transform to the cursor position to get the cursor's position in the player's the cursor's in world position in the player's current parent room, and then just point at that point. Check my logic. Will that work? If so, add, give me, let's talk about how we structure the implementation where the code actually goes and how data flows, etc. He's going to think about it. Let me think this through step by step. Your basic logic is correct, but we need to consider a few details. The camera transform maps from world space to screen space, so yes, we'll need its inverse to go from screen to world space. Looking at the code, we have a stubbed out update orientation in the player class. Yeah. Oh, it even... Okay, that's fine. The data flow... Okay, that's actually completely correct. The camera transform includes both rotation and translation. When we apply its inverse to the mouse position, we need to first subtract the screen center from the mouse position. Okay, yeah. Sure. Give me a full listing of the update orientation method. Since we already pass in the mouse position, we don't need to update anything anywhere else. I don't think that debugging line will be necessary. It's easy to see where the... Yeah. Okay, don't even ask. Yeah. So we convert screen coordinates to be relative to the Zoe. Yeah, first we move it by... Yeah, we make it relative to the center of the screen instead of the top left of the screen. Then we invert the camera transform, apply that inverse transform. And then we point at that. Yeah, that should just work. Okay, I really expected it to be more complicated, actually. God knows we made it more complicated than it needed to be the first time. Okay, does this work? No, no it does not. It does not work at all. Excellent. Why doesn't it work? Yep, that sure doesn't work. Okay. Shoot, I really thought that would work. What happens if we don't do this? Well, now it's hosed. Okay, that's fine. Let's just do 0, 0. Yeah, okay, so that transform... Why wasn't that transform necessary? That's odd. Are we doing the translation somewhere else? Mouse pause equals mouse get pause. Huh. No? They must already be relative to the center of the screen? That's really strange. Yeah, but this works now. And it's consistent as we move across rooms. It doesn't have any confusion as to which player is which, because it wouldn't. It's relative to the current root room. Still that hitch when we move through boundaries, but that's fine. Yeah, this works. This works perfectly. Okay, that was way simpler. I don't know why we made it so complicated the first time. It was the simplest freaking thing ever. Okay, well, this works. What happens if I... Yeah, no, because the player is always at the center of the screen. So there's no... Like, having multiple players on screen doesn't cause any problems, right? Yeah, no. Because it wouldn't. Just for curiosity... Oh, right, we can't. Right. Just gonna... Hey, what happened there? Huh. We can if we... Okay, if we go here... You notice we can get some funny business if we poke around at the edges here. Yeah. Wonder what's going on there. It's not a big deal. But, you know, I'll want to remember that that's happening. Well, this is really cool. I think we have the basics of a really cool game here. So the next thing, okay, off stream, I need to fix the, fix this crap here. But once that's done, I think we can actually start turning this into an actual game. We'll add, you know, add shooting and add enemies, the really fun stuff to do on stream. So, that is it for tonight. Let me look for someone to raid. That was a productive stream. I'm really happy, happy it went so well. Let's look at Twitch. Who do we got? We got Avac again. Sure, he's cool. Let's raid Avac again. Have fun with Mr. Avac. I will see you all next time. It's raid.
Good stream.
AAVAK. See you all next time.
See you.
Read now.